Hey friend, hey, my name is Kay Whitaker, and I am here today to share with you 3 things that I think are so important to helping you prepare for your design center appointment if you are in the process of building your new construction home. My channel is all about our journey in building our new construction home, sharing a little bit of fun and exciting adventures from me and my family. But most importantly, I want to come here and share with you as we go along this process. This is the 3rd house that we've bought, but the first one that we've built. So this is a lot different than our experiences in the past. So we're learning, and as we learn, we want to share what we learn with you to make your home buying journey a little bit easier. If you want some behind the scenes looks and to get to know a little bit more about me and my family, be sure to connect with us over on Instagram at Kay Whitaker. But for now, let's hop into today's video. All right, first things first. So as I said, this is the 3rd house that we've purchased, but it's the first house that we've built from the ground up. And the reason why we decided to build a house is you're in the house market right now. You see exactly what's going on. And despite what a whole lot of people are saying about houses being overpriced and stuff like that, we were ready to purchase a home that is going to be something that's in the neighborhood that we love, and a part of town that we love, that is going to serve as our forever right now home, because there's always a possibility of us moving based off of my husband's career. He's not in the military, but he is in an industry that requires us to move quite a bit, but we're here for a while. We just got a promotion. It's going to be at least a few years before we're asked to do anything different. So we wanted to get comfortable. We wanted to be where the good schools are, where the good shopping is, where the good lifestyle stuff is. And we decided that now was a perfect time to go ahead and build a home that we would love to live in, either forever or forever right now is what we're calling it. So we decided to build because it is almost impossible to find a house that you don't have to give up your kidneys and liver and heart to purchase right now, right? So as we've been going through this process, there are some things that we are learning. Real estate investing is something that we are pursuing as we start to develop our portfolio. And when it comes to new construction, things are just a little bit different than what they are when you purchase a home that's already built. We did want to be able to customize the house a little bit more. Buying a completely custom home was way outside of our budget right now. But we did still want to live in luxury. We wanted to be able to put our own personal stamps on it to make sure that the house has the architectural needs that we want to live in. So that's why we decided to go with the new build. So when you sign your contract for your home, your builder is going to send you on a design center appointment. And in the design center, we thought we had time. Like, we thought we were going to sign the contract and we would have some time before it was time to go to the design center. But we were actually wrong. When you sign the contract, they want you to go to the design center almost immediately because they have to order supplies. And in the environment that we're in right now, things are on back order. It takes a little longer. So they're getting you in quick, fast, and in a hurry so you can make these decisions. And for me, that was a lot stressful because I was like, well, I don't know what I want the house to look like, what I want the house to be styled as. But I did have a clear idea on architecturally what I wanted to do inside of the house. So I took my appointment at the design center to ensure that the house has good bones for me to build on later. I'm not an interior designer, but I do work closely with the industry. And I am in a season now in life where I want to design my home versus just furnish it and live in it. So it wasn't as important to me that there were like these minutia details in place. What was important to me is that I have the architectural structure in place, and I did the things now that I would not want to do later once I moved in, so that I would have good bones to build on later, if that makes sense. So today, that's what I'm sharing with you, how I was able to accomplish that and how I am so excited about what we're building. and what I'm going to be able to do with this house as time goes on. Now, pre-warning, they are working on foundation on this house, and it sounds like the crew just got here. So I'm hoping we can get through this video without a lot of loud distractions in the background. But if there are loud distractions, I'll do my best to try to edit them out. But if not, I still want to get this video out because I think the information is helpful. And we're going to start weekly documenting once we get to construction, because they still haven't broke ground yet. And we signed our contract in April, and it's July 2nd. But once we get to construction, I want to be able to give you weekly updates. So I don't want to delay this video much longer because I've already drug my feet in making it. So let's hop in. So the first thing that I will tell you when you're getting ready to go to the design center is take some time to do your research. Now, while your appointment is quick, I think we scheduled our appointment in like 2 weeks. In that 2 weeks, you really want to take some time to do a lot of research and think about what you want your house to structurally be like when you get there. When I say research, here are a few of the things that I mean. So first and foremost, I'm sure you probably already did this. We went model crazy before we ever picked our builder. But if you haven't went and visited other model homes and other communities that sell the similar type of series home that you are purchasing, now is the time to do so. Go and visit as many model homes as you can, as many homes that are already further along in the construction process that are like have the sheetrock up and have structural elements in it to get inspiration and ideas. This is so important because you want to know what your builder is capable of. For us, we did a lot of this research beforehand because I am kind of OCD when it comes to this. So when we chose our builder, we wanted to make sure that the builder could structurally do what we were asking them to do. There's a particular type of home that we wanted, and we wanted to make sure that the builder had it in their wheelhouse to accomplish it. So when it came down to design center, we took it up a notch because when you go to the design center, some of the terminology you're going to hear, at least for our builder, and every builder is different, but from the research that I've done and all the videos that I've watched, what you can expect to hear is levels. So the design center goes in levels, base level, 0 level being standard. And then you can go up to almost level 8, I think. At least with our builder, I think they take you up to level 8. And each time that level goes up, the price goes up too. So there are some things that your builder is going to include in your home that are standard. You'll hear that a lot. That's standard. But there are some upgrades that you're going to want to make in the house that are not standard. And you want to do the research now to get an idea of how much that stuff costs and what's available to you. Now, depending on your builder, we went with a builder that's really reputable, that's very concerned about building a high quality home, that wants to give you luxury, that wants to be able to provide something that they can market later, right? So our builder was very organized. They gave us sheets that included what was standard in one part of the community. And then in our part of the community, because it is on the more luxury side of the community, it gave us what was standard and what was upgraded in that area. But it's just a sheet of paper. And unless you're a designer or architect, you really won't know what that looks like. So start to ask for examples and have your salesperson point you in the direction of homes that have these things included, so you can go and put a visual eye on what that looks like, so you know what to expect when you get to the design center. As you're doing that research, you also want to think about architectural things that are in your house. So there's 2 types of categories that you're going to be designing when you pick your floor plan. When we picked our floor plan, there were architectural options that we could upgrade, and there are design options that we can upgrade, which is, and depending on your builder, our builder, there's some options that we have to choose with the salesperson, and then there's other options that we had to choose with the design coordinator at the design center. But when you're thinking about your home in total, think about the style of house that you want. What's the architectural things that are important to you when you look at your floor plan? And I'll give you an example of what that looks like. When we chose our floor plan, we knew that we wanted a lot of square footage and we wanted a semi-open floor plan. But we also knew that we would not make good use of a formal dining room. We have one now. I turned it into my office. And we also knew that we needed an additional bedroom because the largest floor plan that they have in the particular part of the community that we were moving to only offered four bedrooms standard. So when we got with our salesperson, we started to ask questions like, can we add an additional bedroom and bathroom? We needed 5 bedrooms and bathrooms. Can we do something different with the dining room because we'll never use it as it is? Are there options for additional storage in the kitchen? Can we do things upstairs in the game room? So on and so forth. So we started asking questions about things that we would want included in the house to see what the possibilities were. And that also helped us influence our decision on what floor plan we were going to choose. So once we got with the salesperson and we understood architecturally, meaning things that are attached to the foundation of the house, attached to the walls of the house, things that you can't take with you if you decide to move. Once we determined what those architectural needs were, then we were able to go to the design center and decide, do we want painted cabinets or are we going to take what's standard? What kind of countertops do we want? Floors, things of that nature. That's what you're going to choose at the design center. But in the research part of this, you need to understand what you want and start to collect your ideas in an easy to access place so that you can start to put those pieces in place. A lot of people that I heard talking about the design center and a lot of people that I've spoken with when they were building their homes, a part of their frustration in the beginning was feeling like they had to design this final product like in the first 2 weeks of building their home and you haven't even broke ground on your home. And I didn't want those frustrations. I knew that I wanted to be able to walk in and be extremely happy with what was there, but also have an opportunity to come in and customize the home further to my liking after I moved in. So it wasn't as important for me to go to the design center and say, hey, I want this color cabinetry, although that is kind of important, or I need this color paint on the wall, or I need this color, what else is like a hiccup? And I'll make a whole nother video on what I think you should upgrade and what I think you shouldn't. But for me, I just wanted good bones. Will I have storage in the kitchen? Will I be able to have tiling across the entire first floor? Because especially here in Texas, they put carpet in like the living rooms and dining rooms. That's disgusting. Like I want floors everywhere. So is that a possibility? Those things were things that I researched before I went to make a decision as to what I wanted. And it also helped me to look on Pinterest, to put Pinterest boards together, to help me also determine, what style I was looking for. Like what color tile, what color kitchen cabinets, what's the vibe that I'm going for. And we'll get to more of how to narrow that down in just a second. So that's a good segue, because the second thing that I would recommend is that you make a list of priorities, right? What's non-negotiable? What must you have in this house when you move in? And what can wait? And that's a hard conversation to have, but it's also a real conversation to have, because what you'll learn in step 3 is that you need a budget. But if you make a list of these priorities, it will help you to determine what options you should be looking at the design center first. Because I don't know about your builder, but our builder gave us a 3-hour appointment. We got one appointment, and if we wanted to make another appointment, we had to pay for that appointment. So I'm already paying a crap ton of money for this house. I did not want to pay another couple $100s for a design center appointment. I wanted to get as much done as possible while I was there. So in that 3 hours, you think, 3 hours, that's a short amount of time. It is, but if you're prepared when you get there, that time is actually extra, but this is where you do the work beforehand, right? So make a list of priorities. What is non-negotiable for you? I'll give you an example. For me, floors were non-negotiable. I did not want to move into a brand new house. I've done floor renovations before in our rental property. We're having some floors repaired here. Don't want to move into a home and then have to have people coming in with saws and stuff and hammers and jackhammers and stuff, breaking up tile. I just don't want to do that. So floors are non-negotiable. I don't want to have to change floors when I get in. So what can the builder provide to me to make sure that I am extremely happy so that floors are not a concern of mine after I move in? Kitchen cabinets. The kitchens, the master bedroom, the master bathroom, those are the two areas of the homes that really sell houses. Now, I know you might be thinking, Kay, why in the world are you concerned about selling a house that you are building to live in forever for right now? And the answer is simple. Life happens. You never know what will happen. So yes, I'm building this home for me, but as an investor, I am also saying if life happens and I have to offload this house, will somebody else want it? Will somebody else want it? And will it require a lot for me in order to get it off my hands? And I know that sounds crazy, but that's the reality of where I am as a design enthusiast, but not designer. I understand that I can paint a wall, I can change some artwork, but I don't want to invest in new floors, new cabinetry, and stuff like that if I need to sell this house. So let's get that now, something that I'm going to love and I know somebody else is going to love, so that that's not an issue if I have to offload this house in the future. So yes, I plan to be in this house forever as long as we're here, but if we have to move, I need to make sure that somebody else actually wants this house too. So cabinets, kitchen cabinets, do I want them to go all the way up to the ceiling? What's the cost of that? Is it cheaper to do it with the builder, or is it cheaper to do it with a contractor after we move in? Glass shelving. Are glass doors on your cabinets? Are you an organized person? They're beautiful, but in order for you to have these glass shelves and they give what you want it to give, you need to have some stuff to put in there. You need to be able to design that space. In the season of my life right now, that ain't my season. So I decided not to put glass in the shelving right now because I just know that my kitchen is not a place where I have like nice china and stuff like that. I have a lot of children. They're young right now. So we've got like a lot of plastic bowls and things of that nature. We don't have a lot of ceramic. I don't have that to display right now. I'm not even interested in it in the next few years. Ooh, it's a fly in here. Oh my goodness. I'm not interested in the next few years. So glass doors right now was not something that is a priority. Will I eventually add glass front doors to the cabinetry? Of course. I think it's beautiful, but right now it's not something that I have to pay for right now, so I can wait. I will tell you what was a bummer is I wanted two-tone kitchens. So I wanted my island to be one color and the lowers to be the same color, and I wanted the upper cabinets to be a different color. Well, my builder would gladly do it, but it would be a charge for them to charge me they're going to do a charge, of course, for the two-tone paint, and then they would also charge me like a service fee for painting two-tone. Well, I don't want to pay the extra fee. I've done some research. I can find somebody to come in before we move in and paint the cabinets. That's easy. So I'm okay with that, right? But that was on my list. Must-haves, what can wait, right? So I knew that I wanted a bathroom that had high contrast, that was opposite of the kitchen. So in our kitchen, we did dark cabinetry. And in the bathroom, I knew I wanted white cabinets in the master bath, but I wanted the floors to be dark. But I wanted the tile on the wall to be light. I knew these things. I found pictures of examples of what I wanted. So I stored those pictures on Pinterest board. I even went as far as making like this PDF presentation. My designer, she laughed at me, but I had this PDF presentation room by room that had what was priority, what was non-negotiable, and what I could wait on, so that as we were going through room by room to design each one of those spaces, I had a checklist that I was checking off and comparing to imagery and picking out similar products at the design center to make sure that I got what was priority for me. There were some things that I asked for that the design consultant had to go and get pricing for, but no big deal. We had contingencies in plans, but when I got there, I was very organized, had checklists, had pictures of inspiration. I had gone to what's the word I'm looking for? I'd gone to like the model homes and I had pestered the salespeople there to walk me through the home and say, oh, I like that. Is that standard or is that an upgrade? Do you know how much that is? What level is that? I asked all of those questions beforehand, got super, super organized so that when I got to the design center, I could make the most of my time. And consequently, I had the best experience at the design center. My husband went, he wasn't hounding me about what was standard and what wasn't standard, which leads us into the third point. We had a budget that we set for what was priority for us. We did our research beforehand, so we were able to stick to the budget once we got to the design center. I knew that, this was the overall number that I wanted to spend in upgrades and options at the design center, both for the budget of the home and both for what I would feel comfortable with, because our builder requires a 50% down payment on any upgrades that we make at the design center. And I knew that I didn't want to come off of $40,000 or $50,000 right now. You can get that later. So we set a budget that said, okay, if we spend this much money at the design center, I'm okay with coming up with half of that or giving away half of that right now, not using it to flip it and make any more money, so on and so forth. So set a budget that is comfortable for you and your significant other that you're going through the purchasing process with right now, so that when you get to the design center, you can tell your design consultant, this is how much I want to spend. This is what I want. Show me options that are going to help me to get to this number. And that's what they do. They go and pull levels based off of what they're looking at, but also being conscious of your budget so that you can get something that you're proud of. You can spend your time looking at things that you can actually afford, and you can have a good time in your experience there. Just by doing these three things, consequently, I was able to go in and get the soft materials for the home that I am very happy with. I think we are designing a great starting point for us to be able to go in and build on later. And it makes me happy because I'm going to be extremely happy with my home when I walk into it. So I'm excited about that. So I've got 2 pro tips that I want to share with you, and then I'm going to let you go because I don't want this to get too long. First pro tip. If this is your first time building a house, I understand you might be building your dream home, especially, and I'll be completely honest, especially when you get to a certain financial status in your life, you feel like, I want what I want and I don't want to compromise. I work my butt off to get here. I want it. And it always seems like when you get to that point that there is something else extra and you're like, oh, that's stretching me just a little bit. From my designer friends to you, this is just your starting point. If this is your forever house, don't feel like you got to pack it in all on the front end. What I know about designing your dream home is that the architectural structure is the starting point. But when you get in and live in your home and experience your space, you will then start to be able to visualize what you want to be in that space. So don't feel like you need to go in and paint the walls a specific color because you may decide that you want a different color. Paint's easy, okay? Paint's not the hard part. Paint is easy. So don't feel like you need things like paint or the blinds and stuff like that. Like, we didn't put any blinds in the house because I know that I'll have different window treatments. There's the upper level. I can do blinds, but our builder didn't want to allow us to only do part of the house. They had to do all or nothing. So I decided to do nothing. And I'll put blinds in the house. That's an easy fix. So really paying attention to point 2, make a list of what is a must-have in order to move in, and then allow yourself to dream a little bit. I'm so excited about what I'm going to be able to do with this house that I can't even tell you how excited I am. And it's not that I don't think I'm building a perfect house to move into. I think I'm building a great house to move into. If somebody else walked into my home, they would be perfectly happy buying it. It is something that is going to be attractive and beautifully compelling. So I'm not worried about that. What I needed was something that I can build on. So my best advice for you is get something that you'll be able to dream in and really customize once you get in. And I'm sorry for the noise. They are outside drilling now. And that's it. So those are my best advice for you. If you have just signed your contract and are getting ready to go to the design center, we signed our contract in April. I think it was like April 28th, and it is July 2nd, and we still have not broke ground. So this is a process that requires patience. It's an exciting process. I know it could be frustrating if you feel like things aren't moving the way you want them to move. But hey, listen, our builder told us straight out the gate, this is probably like a 9-month process. And with delays going on, it could be longer. So just enjoy the ride. So enjoy the ride. Enjoy where you are. Enjoy getting prepared to move into this new part of your life. And take the pressure off feeling like you need to have all of the decisions made now. Get good bones so that when you walk in, you're happy, but know that your house is always going to evolve. You're going to evolve. And as you do that, you're going to have the best time of your life actually going in and getting to design it. So just get what's necessary now and get into the house. Another thing that I want to share with you, and then I'm seriously going to let you go. The house needs to appraise, okay? One of the problems that new construction is having right now is that they're selling so fast and the housing market is so ridiculous that new homes are having problems appraising if you go ridiculously crazy at the design center. Don't do that. And one might say, well, appraising the house is up to the builder. Well, in the climate, in the real estate climate that we're in right now, if you want this house, if you want to move into this house, then it is prudent that you make good decisions to help your builder sell you the house. One of the things that I know is that our home, we were the first people to build our particular floor plan in our community. It's a master plan community. There was nothing else back there. They just started building. And when we signed our contract, they stopped accepting contracts from the ground. Like, they're not selling any more homes. They're putting up inventory homes in the community. And they're not selling those homes until they get to sheetrock. So we are one of few people in this particular part of our community that are actually even getting to customize our house. And our house is one of the larger floor plans in the community. There's not another house that's going to be up by the time we move in. So our house needs something. When the appraiser goes through, they need something to compare it to. And everything that you upgrade in your house is not going to get you credit for your house. So things like paint and stuff like that don't get you credit. Architecture gets you credit. Things that can't leave with you if you leave the house, the appraisers give you credit for and add to the value of your home. So think smart. I know we're buying a house that we want, and I know we're buying a house that we want to aesthetically be happy with when we move in. But in this climate, in 2021, we need to buy a house that we're going to be able to move into, which requires a little bit of different thinking from us as buyers to ensure we get in. And that's been my thought process all of this time. I love the neighborhood. I love the community. I love the environment over here. I love the house. I want to make sure I get in. Get me the closing, get me the keys, and the things that can wait, I can do later. I can go crazy in this house later. When we signed our contract, we signed it at one price, and we are already probably at about $60,000 or $70,000 worth of equity in the house, just based off of homes that are smaller than ours that we see selling around us. So there's equity in your house and there's room, but just don't make the mistake of going to the design center and going buku crazy, adding all of this fancy stuff, and then not being able to move in because your seller, one, can't sell it to you for the price that they originally quoted because stuff is so astronomical high right now that they have to come back to you and say, hey, we need some more money. Or your seller is like our seller and says, if you go and do all of this and the house doesn't appraise, you got to cough up some more money. Well, I don't want to cough up any more money. I want to move in as close to that number that we talked about when the loan got approved. So let's stay within that number so that I can actually get into my home and have a great experience. And I can do all of the other stuff in my queendom once I'm in. All right. So that's my advice for you. Congratulations to you for buying your new house. This is so exciting. I can't wait to hear about all of you all's journeys down in the comments. Be sure, if you haven't already, to subscribe to the channel, and we'll be back with another video because we have to talk about electrical work, and then we have to talk about things that I think are worth the upgrades and things that I think you can skip. But that's it for now, guys. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell and follow us over on Instagram, and I'll see you in the next video.